So I just got off the phone with a freight company, and it looks like the rest of our warm board is on its way. So last night, as a quick recap, we basically fought this post until after midnight. But the victory is ours, and we went to bed very happy. It's really frustrating because one of the perpetual problems that we seem to run into is whether to be super anal about accuracy or get it close. And we don't know the answers all the time. We lean on our engineers and Shelter Institute to help us, and they're not available at midnight. So we put the effort in and we moved this post base over about 3/4 of an inch. And now the beam is correct, the post is correct, and everybody's happy. We decided to do that because we didn't want to install these two posts here until this post was correct and that beam pocket is correct, which required a tremendous amount of verifying. And then we also had the foresight to add a small mark to this string where the center of the beam should be, so that you can very quickly verify that that darn beam hasn't moved. This string represents the end of the beam, so if that string's touching the end of the beam, it's perfect. There's a little pencil mark there, that's perfect. And we already had a mark like that on the back wall. And that's how we noticed that it had moved. So that's where we are this morning. Our goal today, we have these two beautiful timbers. We'd like to get those two guys up here. We already know that this post base was misdrilled because of the beam moving. So we've got to do whatever we need to do to the base to move it, reorient it. We already replumbed that one last night. We were working on that. And then I'm hoping that we can get to the final fastening of our sill plates above today. We've got to get this floor started. We've lost like 3 days. So Alyssa and I's opportunity to get a couple of days off is slowly tanking. Warmboard's here.
Yay, I was just gonna tell you the same thing. I'm filming
here.
You, filming me, saying the same thing, saying the same thing.
Grab a third camera in case something exciting happens. We could throw stickers on here.
Red, do you have some stickers?
Yeah, we'll grab stickers. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. 8-foot pallet with a 6-foot jack.
Yeah, we should
Or a 4-foot jack.
Yeah. So I got this sticker out. This one's not coming out because the weight of the thing is on the other end.
Got it. 1/8" underlayment. If we have to, we'll hand offload them one panel at a time. Might be able to steer a little bit. Okay. Yep, can do that. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So we just need to take this.
Are we gonna let it drop?
You can.
No, it's not that heavy.
No, it's not too bad. And forward. Good. Good. Yeah.
One pallet down, one to go.
See what happens here. Awesome. Sorry, camera. Let's try that again. There we go. Oh. Yeah. Nope. It's got a couple good bashes on it. Good. I'd heard about that.
Yeah.
I'd heard about lunches and breaks.
I need one more. Well, that was exciting. Jesse has more room than he thought. Trying to watch this in here, make sure it doesn't hit the truck. Good?
Yay, we don't have warm board all over our driveway.
Yep.
Someday, when we do a video about the truck, because I think we're planning to do that.
Oh, we are, guys.
I want to talk about 4-wheel drive and a differential locker. Because both of those...
Your what itches?
Yep. Exactly. I didn't even know this truck had that stuff when we bought it, but I have used it more than once already pulling heavy crap up that driveway. just to keep the wheels from spinning. So
Okay, I think you're good now without me, right?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, I'll be out soon.
Okay. Well, that was a less dramatic delivery than the ICFs, but still a lot of work. It's another thing that we're learning about home building is that you have all these large deliveries, and even though we've got the backhoe, we don't have a forklift and we don't have room for trucks to turn around and all that stuff. So things they don't tell you about building a house. All right, excited to get these doggone posts in. So last night after dark, I made a small mistake. I was shaping the dowels for those post bases. I was doing it with the metal grinder, and I can see this morning that some of those metal shavings flew over onto this piece of wood and gave it an interesting effect. Some people actually do that on purpose. They sprinkle like steel shavings onto wood and create this effect. But that's not something that we really wanted on our posts. So I'll have to do a little bit of work to remove this coloring that I don't want. So this is what we ran into last night. Here's my original plumb for the post base. And the front to back, or north to south, has not changed at all. But on the east-west, this is right at 3/4 of an inch of change. And that's how much our beam was off. So very frustrating. Last night we made a decision, instead of going this way 3/4 of an inch and drilling a new hole, we reamed out the bracket so that the bracket could go where it needed to go, but we could reuse these holes in the concrete. For some reason, that base back there needed to move both north and south 1/4 of an inch, and it needed to move east-west 3/4 of an inch. This one appears to be exactly over where it was before. So I'm going to do a little measuring here and make a decision, because I know this is a 1/2 inch fastener, and it would be much quicker for me to re-drill the holes in the concrete than to ream out the base for this so that it will slide over where it needs to go. The only thing is, I don't really like having more holes in the concrete because that would weaken this area. That said, all this base is doing is preventing the post from getting knocked out on the bottom, like if you hit it with a car or something like that. Otherwise, the post is under compression. That's its job. It's not like it's a joist or something, it's holding the joist up. So I'm gonna think about that for a little bit and come up with a solution. So I've done a bunch of measuring and transferring lines. Sure looks like a bunch of mess, I'm sure. But basically, the way our bracket is going to sit, these holes will be clear up here on the bracket. And so I'd literally have to either saw cut or ream out this bracket clear over here to reuse these holes. It's on my mind to do that, but given that it's so far away and it's a 1/2 inch hole, I feel that the deviation is small enough that the jeopardy of the radiant in the slab is fairly low. So I think at this point we're going to drill 2 new holes for the hardware and make it work. only seems appropriate to take a moment and admire this wood. Look how tight those growth rings are. Just incredibly beautiful. I think we estimated this tree to be, I think it was around 120 years old. So in picking the orientation of these posts, as if that even really matters much, I've been kind of just looking the post over and thinking about, you know, how it would look and maybe which side we might want to enjoy, you know, the most, being like on the living side versus the shop side, something like that. This side sure is pretty. Something that we learned on this other base was precision right here does matter. These holes have very little tolerance, so your typical 1/8, 16th to an 1/8 rule is nowhere near practical. These holes have to be drilled straight through. This bracket must be positioned correctly, otherwise when you go to put that pin in, it'll hit right here or over here, not that hole. Don't tell Alyssa I'm over by the radiant.
Good?
So far. That drill, if you don't push hard, it actually goes faster.
Okay, I'm not sure how deep to go. I guess I'll pull it out and see.
Yep, that's where it's gonna go.
Okay, happy?
Yep. A little tighter over here. Good.
Don't mess my braid up.
Alyssa had some sawdust in her hair.
That's a huge saw.
It is no fun to try to control that way. Not how it's intended to be used, that's for sure. That'll do. Ready? This one's heavy, by the way.
Oh, I can feel it. Ready?
Yeah, just bring it down whenever you're ready. Good. Good? Okay, got it.
Okay.
Oh, you know what we need to do?
What?
Let's stop. We need to bevel the edges on the top.
Okay.
Come back to me.
Okay.
Coming up. You want to get on a ladder and let's see what's touching?
Yeah, can you hold it?
Got it? Okay?
Yep.
Time for the test. Okay, that's the metal. No, you just got to the metal.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So you need to be more precise, and we need to see if it'll go in. It's not going to be perfect, but
Okay.
I think it's. Can't tell if it's just bouncing, which it looks to me like it is.
Do you want to try? I know you have a better feel if you're doing it.
So the answer is no. Again. You can actually see how close it is to fitting. Almost a 1/16 of an inch. That's ridiculous. So when we say precision doesn't matter, I mean it matters, but it doesn't matter that much. this stupid pin won't go in because of a 1/16 of an inch. This to me is what happens when you mix metal and wood. Because wood, you know, people agree, 1/16, pretty precise. 1/16 in metal won't go by a mile.
I think I can force her. So we have the same problem that we had last night with the posts from hell. So something down here isn't level because things aren't level. Like nothing's perfect. So it's kicking it out up there about 1.5 inches. So if we push it over, it's gonna try to pull our beam over. And that's just really annoying. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to do what we did last night. We're gonna have to drill in from the back and pop those bolts out and move the base and etc.
Good, got it.
Happy you're there?
Yep.
We should go do something to celebrate. Oh wait, we need to keep working.
Yep. I know what to do to celebrate.
What?
Take the tripods out.
That's a good celebration.
I think that's huge. I think it's time to remove
Yes.
the tripods that have 4 legs. Okay, thank you. There you go, yeah. Hello, this is Jesse.
Can you get those last 4 in one trip?
Maybe. I think we cut them down to 9 feet something.
Wow, you're so strong. Rawr.
See why everything has to get cut in the middle.
It's a pretty good day.
Pretty good.
Last night was crappy, but
Last night was apparently practice for today. It's the exact same thing happened.
wow. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I'm gonna tire of that view ever.
Well, we decided to make a quick dash for town to get town errands done. We got a copy of our house plans, a copy of the cut sheets for our timber frame, and we filled our fat little bellies full of food. And now we want to take a nap. So what we're gonna do is work.
Yeah, a nap or just cuddling and watching a movie would be so nice.
That sounds
I
amazing.
look forward to that.
You know what sounds more amazing? Having a roof over our heads.
That sounds pretty nice too.
In December, we'll thank our
yeah.
current selves.
We will not regret this when the
For
work is done.
not
But in the
giving
moment,
up.
it sucks.
It's a little rough. We've been running on the ragged edge for a very long time. So, next priority is getting our sill plates locked in. We've got kind of an idea for how a couple people can work together. I think the weak point in our entire system is going to be that little air compressor. It's going to have a hard time keeping up with all the concrete dust we're going to make.
Yeah. So it looks like our bolts need to go 42 inches on center. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all those marked to make our job easy.
All right, it's headlamp 30.
Sweet. You wanna hand me the head cam? I'll show what I'm doing.
You bet.
So we were gonna show you guys a lot of this process, except it's already getting past focus 30. We already need headlamps, and we really just want to get this job done so we can relax tonight. So we're gonna show you a little bit of what we're doing, and then in your mind, rinse and repeat, okay? Gonna get this rim joist off of here because it's kind of dangerous. Don't worry, Ginger Beer, you'll be safe.
What do we want to do? Sit it down here?
I'm just trying to get it to tip on its own.
Okay, it's coming, it's coming.
Good. Okay.
Why is it not down there yet? Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good. All right.
I'm pretty sure we just hammered out 43 8-inch Titans in an hour.
That's pretty good.
That's a freaking good average.
Yeah, I thought we'd get it done. And it's
Boom.
It's only like 8 or 8:30.
What?
So
Still got time for dinner, a movie, and ice cream.
basically.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're off to sleep. Wait, what's it called? It's a coffee time machine.
Yep.
We're off to the coffee time machine.